Good evening, Wolfpack Nation, and welcome back to another weekly edition of the Tuffy Talk live stream here. I am your guy, Greg the Leg. Leighton is here and letting me take over for the night. I don't know what to think of this. I think I'm about to get fired. But anyway, I am joined by Leighton and Michael Tracy. Gentlemen, what is going on?
You, man. Hey, feeling better after a win than a loss.
Yeah, well,
sure.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about this because it's a win, one that, I was talking with one of my guys at halftime, and it's just one of those weird games. And I know the SEC does it like the week before the last game of the season. But this is kind of the latest we've played one of these opponents. Usually we're in kind of a week 1, week 2 mode with this game. But it came in week 6. But, are we taking anything away from this? Or are we who we thought we are? I'll start with you, Michael.
Yeah. I think it's. No, you don't really take anything away, but that's kind of what you want in games like these. We've kind of seen the opposite some years. As soon as last year, that Western Carolina game was tight until the fourth quarter.
Sure. Yeah.
It's more like there's nothing bad to come out of it than more so nothing good. But
yeah. Leighton, I know you were there, sir. Your last game before baby comes. So kind of give me your thoughts on the game.
No,
By the way, you were sitting in that sun the whole time. How was it over there on that side of the field? I mean, it wasn't a warm day, but that sun was kind of an optical illusion.
Yeah, well, it's funny, So my wife's mom and grandparents were there at the game, and so my wife, who has 8 months pregnant, was sitting out there with her mom, and so at halftime, my wife, her mom, and her grandmother decided they were going to go back. Well, then after sitting there for about 3 minutes, her grandfather and I sitting there were like, I think we're done too. And so like originally I was just going to walk him back and then come back for the game. But like after walking all the way back there, I was so tired and we were up, 49?
You probably scored another 3 times while you were gone too.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, okay. So, so just said whatever. But yeah, here's the thing. And that's why I kind of, teased it a little bit in the chat or in the title of this live stream, because I know, first of all, I know a lot of State fans are going to be like, are you kidding me?
Clickbait.
Clickbait. Are you kidding me?
You never know.
But a lot of people have said it, but would Virginia Tech have beaten NC State if they didn't play Wofford the week before? I'm not so sure. I think that honestly that Wofford win really gave Virginia Tech a little bit of confidence and going into that game. And so, you're going into a Notre Dame game with absolutely 0 to lose, but with everything to gain. If you make that even a ball game, right now, NC State's a 21.5 point underdog. So if you make that a 1 possession game and, you're making Notre Dame sweat it, late in the game, I think that was a win for sure. But to finish on the game, obviously, I honestly leave here, yes, happy. I know Michael even tweeted a few things talking about, and we talked about how it's the most yards for offensively in a half in the FBS this season. And we could talk about that. Sure, that's good. But I honestly leave here really saying 3 things. One, which is that on 3rd and 10, giving up a 14-yard run was just grab the neck and just shake it. 3rd and 10, what are we doing? Yeah. So, and then secondly, obviously CJ Bailey had a pretty good game. There was a couple balls I think he was a little bit conservative on and didn't put quite as much air on, like the Noah Rogers pass. That should have been a touchdown all day long and twice on Tuesday. Yeah. But, I get it. He was so open. You don't want to overthrow him. You'd rather underthrow him a little bit just to make sure that he gets it. So I get that. But, would have loved that to be more in stride. But then third of all, and I'll say this right now, Greg, I know that we've talked about this before, but there's no way that if I were to make a list right now of top 5 running backs, Hollywood's on that list. He is. That 56-yard run, only Hollywood Smothers could do that.
Insane.
The
dude had 4 carries the whole game.
Yeah.
and he had 123 yards.
Like, it's crazy.
And I don't care who the opponent is. I mean, that's still
right.
I mean, it does help. I'm not gonna lie, but
he had 123 yards on 4 carries.
Those are still dudes on scholarships.
Right.
he wasn't playing like.
But again, like you
midget
can't,
pee-wee football players.
You can't watch that 56-yard run and be like, there's only a few running backs in the country that could do that. Like to break that many tackles, keep his balance, and cut through, for the touchdown. Like, literally, I was sitting there laughing just the whole time, like being like,
yeah, for sure,
only Hollywood, man.
Yeah.
So those are my 3 takeaways.
Yeah, no, that was impressive. Another takeaway, according to Coach Dorn's presser today, got away out of that game healthy, which is especially important considering we've kind of had some attrition on the defensive side of the ball, especially. Some dudes' statuses are unclear, but it also sounds like we've lost some dudes for the rest of the season without naming names.
Yeah.
Important there. Go ahead, Michael.
Well, yeah, I said at the beginning, there's not a whole lot of takeaways, but I think if we really get into details, we can. On punt return, I mean, Hoffman, he's probably done for the year back there.
He's probably done.
Comes in and returns one for touchdown.
Yeah, on a block that didn't even need to be made, because even after the fact, it was during the kick. The guy still got up and still missed Anderson at the end of the play.
He still missed him, yeah.
So he probably would have broke it regardless. But yeah, I think that's definitely an area to keep an eye on moving forward. I would think probably you're correct. It would be Anderson next man up in that regard.
Yep.
You take away that fumble, they probably aren't getting a touchdown in this game. And they're probably getting a garbage field goal at the end, much like they did to actually finish the game.
And even that was big because of the Will Wilson interception. I think both all their points came on like when we turned it over inside our own red zone. So
yeah. So no turnovers by the first string guys. In offensive play, the interception by Will Wilson, and he did have his first completion of his college career. So there's something to grow on. We had a Lex Thomas sighting, got a series or 2, I think. I'm trying to remember. We ended up leaving at the beginning of the fourth. Yeah, we left at the beginning of the fourth quarter because we tried to. Well, we went over to the announcement that we'll get into later in the show. But go ahead.
Well, one thing that I was going to say, that was also kind of another takeaway, which, I mean, like, we could sit here for sure and talk about the second stringers, and like their performance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. Like that's the craziest part about today's day and age. It literally does not matter. Like I could sit here and say, Will Wilson's performance was, a little okay, not good, not great, but again, it doesn't matter. It's just the world we live in, and just like that. Like, honestly, that was probably the biggest takeaway. Is in a typical fashion, I would have loved to watch that second half because I'd be really interested to see how the guys play behind them. But in today's day and age, it doesn't matter. It's crazy feeling. So
anyway. I was going to get there. A lot of names that people aren't familiar with that hit the stat sheet this week.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I liked your I think it was your text, Leighton, about Cody Hardy. I think he has a new president of his fan club. It was nice to
love Cody Hardy.
It's nice to see him get a touchdown. And then
that was a tough catch too.
What's that?
That was a tough catch for
it was
for a tight end.
Yeah,
over the shoulder.
I thought another guy that kind of flashed a little bit was Ethan Dowdy. Made a couple nice catches in there. I didn't have that on my bingo card this Monday saying Ethan Dowdy's name, but
except for the one that he fell when he could have got another 20 yards on top of it. But all good.
No, that's
the grounds crew didn't do a really good job cutting the grass in that area. There was some long blades. But no, I thought it was good. That's what you want to see is, a lot of guys getting some opportunity. Tank Boston had a couple of receptions. We hadn't really seen him much in a Wolfpack uniform. Even Duke Scott had. Go ahead.
On Dowdy, like he was a transfer, right? He wasn't. Initially you think it's a walk on, but no, he was a transfer from Hampton, Sydney. So it's like kind of,
which is lower
I don't
level.
know, it's like, yeah,
yeah,
it's like he's kind of your. It was, yeah, I thought it was like I didn't expect him to really see him, but
Right.
glass in case of emergency option. It was like, all right, he got some hands.
yeah, he was serviceable. Yeah, and then Duke Scott had a nice rushing game after Hollywood did his thing. He averaged almost 9 yards a carry. Yeah, defense was solid, but they did some funky things, running multiple quarterbacks out there at a time to maybe try to cause some confusion. And again, not a lot to take away from this. You went out and handled business. Everyone wanted to make the ECU comparison about how many points ECU gave up and scored and blah 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 blah. And I'm not interested in all of that chit chat. So
no. Who
yeah,
cares?
what's that?
I mean, who cares? 7-point difference. Okay, who cares?
Yeah. Anything, penalties were still kind of a thing. We kind of bailed them out a little bit on a couple of drives with some penalties. I thought we could have gotten off the field. Doran even mentioned that today. He's just, saying a lot of young guys are getting opportunities and they're making young athlete mistakes, if you will. By the way, I'm in here hosting tonight, and do we have any comments in the chat at all?
No, we need them, but
yeah, I was going to say, if anyone's out there and has some questions, we have some mailbag stuff we'll get into from our Discord folks, and we'll kind of address those. So I'll kind of lean in, we'll talk a little, unless anyone has anything else to say about this Campbell game. I really, again, I think we've pretty much said what needs to be said in the first 13 minutes of the episode. Kind of, there's lots we want to get to, but if there's anything that you guys want to mention before we move on, please do so. And I'll start with you, Leighton.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give a shout to Wolfpack Nation for sure. I mean, it wasn't like, packed to the brim, but, after a Virginia Tech game like that, and a game against Campbell, when it was as hot as it was, like, it was a good turnout for sure. It was a really good turnout. Yeah. So I was impressed.
When they showed that, obviously it's never totally full right at kickoff, but first quarter when they go to timeout and kind of show the aerial view, it was 80-90% full still. So
yeah, it did fill out. It did fill out. Student section was missing some stuff in the corner. But yeah, I all things told, it was a good crowd. 2:00's a weird kickoff. I don't know how many times we have a 2:00 kickoff. So that made it a little different. Tailgate vibe was good. Had lots of people, lots of food. But yeah, I'm on to Notre Dame this week.
Well, and if I could say one more thing too as well, just kind of unraveling everything. I mean, got to give a shout out to Kenny Soares for sure.
Yeah, he did a great job. Thank you. I wanted to actually mention him.
Yeah, had a great game. Stepping in. It's obviously been a little bit of a tough stretch. With AJ Richardson getting injured, and then Sean Brown going down against Virginia Tech, and he stepped in and played a great game. Nine total tackles, 2 solo tackles. So that's the positive. The negative, though, once again, is it's just so glaring that outside of Harsh and Salone on defensive line is just a ghost town.
Harsh made a nice play.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Besides Harsh and Salone.
Oh, I didn't hear Harsh. My apologies. Sorry.
Yeah, besides Harsh and Salone, unfortunately, Isaiah Shirley, Trevally Price, Brandon Cleveland, just not seeing too much, really from those guys, which is disappointing.
What's the true freshman, I think, Josiah Victor. I think he ended up being the highest graded defensive player we had. And I think Dorn mentioned him in the press conference today that he's pretty much the backup now behind Cleveland.
He had 4 tackles.
Chaz Wallace.
Yeah, he had 4 tackles on Saturday. Yeah, you mentioned Soares, transfer, I believe, from Northwestern.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the right answer. Yeah, he's up from Connecticut. I met his folks a couple weeks ago. Really nice people. That was the Duke game. And he ended up having a nice game that time. So kind of started following him a little bit closely. I just think that you're going to need some of those guys to start stepping up, especially if these injuries, that we think maybe are long-term, are really, in fact, long term. I saw Richardson on a little knee scooter on the sideline, so that doesn't look well for long term. I don't even remember even seeing Sean Brown out there, to be honest with you, but he may have been there. I wasn't necessarily.
His dad was.
For him. Yeah, so I'm sure Sean was there on the sidelines.
Yeah.
It's really hard to see folks now that they have those little canopy things. A lot of them like to sit in the shade, and so they don't always stand on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Again, just Caden Fordham had a decent game, got a couple sacks in this game, which was nice. Sebastian Harsh is up to, I think, 2.5 sacks. He had a sack and a half in the game. Just lots of as I look up and down this stat sheet, there's just a ton of names. I mean, just
a ton of names.
And not all of them, I recognize. That's weird that Trevally Price is on there, but he has no stat line. That's kind of, I'm not trying to be funny, but it's just different. I've never really seen that. Saad Brown moved around. Like, you saw some guys moving around, playing some different positions. I think that's kind of another thing that Doran touched on. You had Saad Brown playing in a different position.
We just get so many injuries that you're gonna have to. I think.
You just gotta. That's why you cross train in different areas. But anyway, are we ready to move on to Notre Dame?
We're on Notre Dame. Yeah, I mean, just obviously, no Jackson Vick, so kind of, I'm sure maybe we, just haven't really heard much from about him. So definitely, if he's out, that's going to sting for sure. So
yeah, he's been out for a couple of weeks now.
What's up, Kens?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep,
I hear you.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, she's having some audio issues.
I'm having some life issues right now. Gosh.
Well, we were getting ready to move on, but I know you were there on Saturday. Kind of give me your 30-second elevator spiel, what your thoughts were on Saturday from the Campbell game. Any takeaways that you had?
I mean,
shoot them over.
I'm hoping that brought all the momentum back from the beginning of the season. The team looked like they had each other's backs when Will Wilson and Lex Thomas finally got out there. It looked like CJ, Justin Jolie, and all them were going to our second and third string guys and hyping them up. So I love seeing that. Love seeing 56 points, obviously. Really hope that can translate over to Notre Dame. I'm just hoping that our defense shows up on Saturday. Our offense shows up on Saturday. Our special teams shows up on Saturday.
So basically, the whole team needs to show up on Saturday, is what you're saying. Got it.
This was a wake-up call for them and the turning point that they needed, like the Duke game was last year before. So,
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. One thing we didn't really talk about, but I think definitely needs to be mentioned was how sick was that Justin Jolie one-handed catch.
Like, yeah, that was crazy.
And he didn't even bring it into his body.
No, he kept it out there the whole time.
One hand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was. Yeah, good gloves. Shout out to Adidas football gloves for making some sticky gloves. No, I mean, he's got big hands to begin with, but still, like, he just kind of just left it out there, kind of like he was like palming it, and it was pretty funny. Thankfully that he didn't lose it. But yeah, that was a hell of a catch. All right, so South Bend Saturday, 3:30, Peacock Network.
Prime time.
Love that.
Yeah, good old Peacock. Yeah, it's going to be first off, depending on who you subscribe to, we're 21.5 point, 22.5 point underdog going into this one. I haven't, you know me, I like stats. I just don't sit there and research, but that's got to be one of the biggest point spreads that underdogs that we've been probably in some time. Anyone have any ideas? Anything that might be worse than that? That's a pretty big one.
I want to say we were 21 at Clemson last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was 21.
I could see that. For sure. Yeah. Yeah. So.
What were we with against Tennessee?
Oh, it was pretty close.
It's like 10 points, maybe.
Yeah, I think it was 10-ish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at that point,
sucks even more than I did not know that.
10 points.
Yeah.
It was only week 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Yeah, so kind of history wise, we've lost our last 2 to Notre Dame, right? Is that right? Yes, lost the last 2. I think we're 3-3 all time. Maybe I think 3-3,
Yep.
2-3, something like that.
Well, hey,
I'll have to go look.
two of the, I guess one of the most kind of like stamp worthy games in NC State football history in the Gator Bowl.
Sure.
Obviously that's big, and then obviously
Yeah.
the world famous Hurricane game. So I mean,
Yeah.
definitely NC State and Notre Dame have brought you 2 very memorable games. That's for
Absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely. I'm just trying to pull it up real quick. Talks amongst yourselves in the chat, but yeah, I just I will say this much. It's going to be much warmer than we went last time that we were there. We had all types of precipitation. We had rain, sleet, and snow the last time we were there, and I think it was 2018, 17. I'm getting old.
Yeah.
Numbers are hard. But right now it's projecting to be 72 degrees. So beautiful, beautiful day in South Bend. So, last time we played them, I feel like every time except for the Gator Bowl, we've had weather with those guys. So I'm looking forward to having a nice clean day against them. Yeah. So we're 2-2 all time. That wasn't 2-3, it was 2-2.
Yep.
Yeah, so kind of just give me we got some stuff going on in the chat here. We'll get to that here in a second, but kind of give me, I'll start with you, Michael, kind of give me your keys to, kind of keeping this thing close, going into the fourth quarter. You saw some stuff. You've seen some weird things this year in football, some upsets. So it's not that it can't be done. Notre Dame started the season off 0-2. Or is it 1-2?
0-2. Yeah.
0-2.
Yeah, and then they've won their last 2, so they're 2-2, right? They've played 3-2. 3-2. But kind of give me your thoughts into what State kind of needs to do, other than the obvious of scoring more points than Notre Dame. But what do they what do they need to do to kind of hang around and give themselves a fighting chance?
Yeah, I mean, the offense has to be clicking. Obviously, you're not going to win this game, 20-17. Like,
no,
if you're going to win this game, it's going to be 48-45 or something.
Right.
I think
we're going to need to score on our first 8 possessions is kind of what you're saying, like we did against Campbell.
Right. 2 against Campbell. That's easy.
Yeah.
I think it's going to come down to, you're not going to stop them. It's going to come down to, can you get a turnover or 2 to kind of flip the game, and can your offense keep up? That's pretty much it.
Yeah, we're going to be opportunistic, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I really feel like, and I'm going to give a couple points, and then I'm going to have to jump out of here. But one, I think this is where the rubber really will meet the road for CJ. If CJ is truly who we think he is, this is where it's going to show. Because this is going to take all the leadership that he has. This is going to take all of the calm, cool, collected confidence that he has. This is going to take everything he has to win this game. There's no doubt about it. But also, too, as well, like Chilton says, I think we got to get pressure on the quarterback. It's just like some I've already said once, Greg, that unfortunately D-line outside of Harsh and Salone has been kind of a ghost town. But, we got to get pressure. We don't have the defensive backs good enough to stay with a guy for 5 seconds. Like, we need to get there quick. We need to get some rattle, and we need to try and force some mistakes, because we're not going to beat Notre Dame perfect ball versus perfect ball. It's going to have to be them making mistakes.
Yeah, and Kens, I'll get your thoughts here in a second, but I just wanted to chime in. I think this is one of those games where you're going to have to get creative. Just do some weird things that you maybe haven't shown yet to this point in the season. I feel like you're going to maybe get a trick. I mean, I know we've had a fake punt already this season, and we tried to run another trick play. I think it was against Wake Forest. But I think we're going to have to do some creative things. I think we're going to maybe try to have to. This scares the crap out of me to say, but I think we're going to have to do some blitzes.
Yes.
We're going to have to tackle really well. But Ken's, kind of just give me some keys, you think that we need to do in order to give ourselves a fighting chance.
Well, and Ken's, real quick, just because I have to jump, and because I've been waiting to do this, I couldn't do it last week because of obviously the big L. But UNC, suck it. Y'all got donkey stop by Clemson. Pay that $10 million just to be the worst team in college football.
Say that to
There
Don.
you go.
He played for Carolina, and he's over here trying to talk smack. So go ahead and
See
throw
y'all.
it at him.
Go
See ya,
back,
buddy.
baby.
See
Get
ya.
out of here.
Yeah. Go ahead, Kens.
Sorry.
Tell me what state kind of has to do to kind of hang around in this thing.
No self-inflicting wounds.
There you go.
No
That's a big one.
holding, no false starts.
Yeah.
Our special
Can't
teams,
kill drives.
Our special
Yep.
teams has got to get it together. We can't be dropping, we can't be fumbling, we can't be doing none of that. Defense got to tackle, obviously. I'm proud of what I've seen in the offense. Even though it was Campbell, but still the guys were clicking. More playmakers were being shown. Right now I'm just really worried on special teams.
Yeah.
That's them. And I don't like how we did our first Will Wilson throw against Campbell.
Well, that was fine. It's fine. It was Campbell.
Some stuff
like your buddy said, Don, it was Campbell. It's okay. I didn't.
Yeah.
He's gotten that out of his system. He's good. I do like what Bart is saying here. Don't. Oh, I'm sorry. This wasn't the one I wanted. Actually, I wanted his. Was it this one? Sorry. I think he said one about getting the ball first. Yeah, this is the one I wanted. Sorry. Chat was moving a little faster. Yes, I like this approach. Take the ball. If we win the toss, kind of get out there. I think we're definitely, if you can go out and get a score quick, maybe keep the crowd a little bit, quiet. This is the first real road game of the season. I know we played at Wake earlier, but they, barely had 25,000 people there. You're going to expect maybe, 50 more thousand than that at Notre Dame Stadium. So maybe if you can go out and throw an early haymaker, get your team settled in, give your team a little confidence. I definitely like that kind of. Michael, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean that would be, I think, ideal scenario. Score early
and often.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know. I just can't sit here and say you gotta stop them.
That's easier said than done.
It's just like it's not gonna happen. They're gonna score probably a lot on our defense. Can we keep up?
Right. I think kind of we need that. I hate the phrase bend but don't break, but I think there's going to be some breakage. But can you get that key opportunity of a turnover like we did late in Virginia, right? Which, by the way, that win looks really good at this point.
And of course, it doesn't count for our ACC standings.
Exactly.
It's like,
exactly. But no, can you do just enough, right? And I think that's the approach this team is going to have to take, at least on defense. But like I said, just do some things that you haven't shown. You're going to need guys to step up that haven't been stepping up necessarily. And I don't mean that in a negative way. They just haven't had playing time. And if you can just do those types of things.
Yeah. And Ken's mentioned it. You got to play clean on special teams. This game. You can't.
Well, you have to play clean all around, but
yeah.
You definitely have to play complementary football. You can't, like you mentioned it, Michael. You can't get behind the sticks. You got to stay ahead. You can't be driving and then taking dumb penalties. We did that on Saturday. Against Campbell, you can get away with stuff like that. Right. Notre Dame, you just can't. You're gonna have to play the game of the year, in order to even kind of. And again, I don't want people to think that we're being negative or saying that State can't win this game. It's a very large hill. Yeah. It's a very big hill. But again, UCLA just beat Penn State on Saturday.
They hadn't led for a single second, and they beat Penn State.
Yeah. Again, I'm not necessarily saying that that's going to happen on Saturday, but if you can believe,
it's going to happen.
I love your positivity, Kens. I always do. I always do.
I mean, if you're talking like recent Notre Dame teams, this is probably one of the.
They have one a year, right?
They're a little bit down, and last year, right? They lost to Northern Illinois, team we beat.
Yeah,
but
it's different a year. We get it. We get that. But again, if you're looking for things, right? If you're trying to find that rock that you can turn over and go, oh, hey, look, this is the magic potion right here. This is what we need to do. We obviously have the talent offensively.
And
Notre Dame's defense is good. It's I know, they lost a close one in Miami and then lost another close one against Texas A&M, but they gave up some points against Texas A&M.
right,
And I'm not.
they're
Go ahead.
they've got a good defense, but it's not kind of an elite Notre Dame defense that they've had
Right,
recently.
right.
So it's definitely, you can definitely score on them. I mean,
I mean,
Purdue,
it's doable. We just
Purdue put
gotta
up 30 something.
Yeah.
So
we gotta play better than we have.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
Against
you pretty
there's
much
no
have
doubt
a
about
better
that.
Virginia
game-
Tech.
yeah.
I mean,
a better game than you have all season. But
yeah.
this would be a good time for it.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. If you're going to do this, and we've seen this with past NC State teams, you get kind of a 1, 2, 3 game losing streak, and then you go on you go rip off 4 or 5 in a row. This is the time to where, if you're going to turn this thing around, this is the week that you can do that, and kind of make a statement about it.
I feel like everybody should know that if you've been a State fan, not even for a long time at all, you know that literally anything can happen. You cannot put anything past any of our teams. We could lose to the worst team. We could beat the best team. Like, there's no telling what's going to happen. I want to be optimistic. I'm going to try to be optimistic. We'll see how long that lasts on Saturday. But go Pack.
Yeah. I mean, look, we it's no mystery that we've struggled on defense stopping the run, and Notre Dame's got 2 dudes that can run it, and Love and I can't remember the other guy's name at the top of my head, but they've got some good caliber dudes. They got big linemen. I know, how are we going to hold up there? That's going to be something that we're going to need to watch. And again, like I said, we're just going to maybe have to get creative, do some stunts, just do some things to show things that we haven't showed yet. I don't know, obviously, what the game plan is other than try to stop them. But it's going to be an uphill battle. And I hate the moral victory thing, but if we can just cover.
No injuries and cover is all I want
No
out of
injuries.
Saturday.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Yeah.
I
ahead,
think that
Mike.
is a little bit too high.
I do. I agree.
21, 22. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, last time they beat us by 21 points, 45-24. So
Right.
But that was after like an hour.
yeah. We actually
but that's
showed up.
covering 21 and a half. If the spread's 21 and a half, that's
That
a
is
cover.
covering. That is covering. Silver linings.
Baby steps. Baby steps.
Yeah. I like this comment also by Bart here. Just Pack. Sorry, I'm trying to read it from the chat, but Pack has all the tempo past 70%. Need to make Leach with Ouija board as. Sorry, I'm reading small words.
We need
Says
Mike
we
Leach
need
with
Mike
an Ouija
Leach.
board offensive
Got you.
coordinator.
Thank you.
Oh,
I have.
I got you, Greg.
No, I can read for
Got
everyone
you, Dad.
listening, but I have this little screen because I have all the producing stuff, and it's really hard to read, and I'm getting old. No, I think you're going to have to. So there's a couple of things that you can look at this, right? Are we gonna, we're not the type of offense that's ball control. We do have explosive guys, but is that something that you see to maybe try to limit the number of possessions that Notre Dame gets? If they don't have the ball, it's harder for them to score. Not to say that they can't score, but it makes it more difficult. So it'll be interesting to see if we kind of do some wrinkles that we haven't done this year. And again, if you're holding on to things, this week is the time to show them because.
But is it? Could we play Miami?
Well, I mean, as you run plays all year, you're going to run wrinkles off of them. You're going to run same type of formations, but you're going to, do a little something different here, a little something different there. Maybe you find a weakness in the defense or in the offense where you can exploit that. So you're just hoping that, someone's seeing some stuff on tape that then go, oh, we can attack this and give ourselves a chance in this matchup, whether it's, at a particular position or whatever it might be. But I will say Notre Dame's special teams is very sound. That's definitely an area that we've struggled at throughout the year. So that's an area where we have to be better at. And again, it's just a matter of playing in all three phases of the game. It's been said 1,000 times. You have to play complementary football in games like this when you're on the road and facing some adversity. Anything else before we kind of move on? We got some other things to talk about. It's been a busy week in NC State athletics. Lots going on. Lots of other good things.
A lot of positive things.
You love we're getting right in the middle of it, and
Craig sounds so happy.
I know, I'm just tired. I think I need a bye.
One more week.
Right. I know. I've been furloughed. I've been furloughed with the government, and I'm just like, okay, I kind of need this furlough, but I also kind of need my money. So yeah, but I'll be headed up to South Bend on Thursday. Taking my dad up there. He'll be flying. I'll meet him in Chicago, and then we'll be staying about an hour from campus. And then my wife's uncle, who is a really good dude. He's mooching off me. He's a Notre Dame fan, but he will be wearing some state gear with his Notre Dame gear, because I told him, I said, "Look, you're sitting in the NC State section. You will be wearing some state gear,
or you're not going. Or
you're not going." No, he's a fantastic guy. He's going to be driving up, and we'll be flying up. So yeah, just I always tell folks, and we'll move on here in a second. It's not always about the results of the game. It's going up and spending time with family and friends, and going out and supporting the Pack, obviously, but just making memories, whether they're wins or losses. We won't always have these people around us, so it's always great to hold on to things. And these trips are fun. Notre Dame's a fun place.
Historical football.
Absolutely.
Just make it a ball game.
Right. Exactly. Notre Dame is definitely a bucket list. I've been blessed and fortunate enough to go watch a basketball game at Kansas, a football game at Notre Dame. Like these are where the sports of college really gained footing and traction, and they're hallowed programs and places. So I definitely recommend, if you can make these types of trips, just once in your life, go do it. My buddy, he says, I want to go to Notre Dame, but I also want to go when we're competitive. I'm like, well, that may never happen. But you definitely got to go up there and see it. And so I think it's really cool when State has these opportunities to go play at these places, and it just becomes a really fun thing. So, all right. So we are going to move on. What do we want to talk about next? Do we want to go? Sorry.
They say we lift up the vibes and go to basketball.
Basketball is a good vibe.
It's a very good vibe.
Yeah, we'll circle back around on some of these comments here in a few. So I did mention earlier that I left at the beginning of the fourth quarter. I went over to Tobacco Road and was part of the awesome announcement for State basketball. Huge commit for next year. Top 30 player.
Number one in North Carolina.
Yeah. Anybody want to make the announcement? Michael, you want to tell the audience who we got?
Cole Clower.
Is,
I'm not sure how you
Clower. I think it's Clower. Yeah. Yep. He's a native from Hillsborough, North Carolina. Currently attending IMG Academy down in Florida. So he was based off of all of the rankings. He's approximately a top 30 player in the country. As Ken's mentioned, number one in the state of North Carolina. Had massive offers. He had offers from Alabama, Florida, UConn, obviously State, and then the school down in blue right down the road, who he actually was supposed to make an official visit there on Saturday, but canceled that in order to make his announcement to attend State. And then he'll make that official. That was a verbal commit on Saturday. and he'll make that official sometime. I think November 1st is the national signing day for basketball. If my
Yeah, it is.
if my memory is working right. But yeah, small forward, shooting guard type guy. Just a really good dude. Can put up some points. He was just named. His IMG Academy just played in Dubai, which is wild to be playing in Dubai as a high school player.
You're not
for
even
high school, not international competition for Team USA. No, this was high school.
Yeah.
They played a couple of teams. I know there was a team from Africa, a team from France, a team from Australia, and then the IMG. I don't know if that was the only schools that were participating in this, but he was named on the first team kind of tournament team along with one of his teammates. So yeah, really, really impressive guy. Huge get for Will Wade. I saw a stat over the weekend and I don't remember who posted it, but in Will Wade's, he's been here less than 6 months.
Yeah.
He's already pulled more highly recruited guys than Kevin Keats did in his 7 years. Again, not throwing shade, but just talking about how we've been progressing.
We're not throwing shade.
No. I mean
he
that's
brought
just
us a
fact.
Final Four.
Yeah, absolutely.
ACC championship.
Yeah, and that number is one less than Mark Godfrey did in his time at State. So really, really impressive what Will Wade is doing to kind of turn around the recruiting profile of NC State. And that's before he's even played coached his first official game.
I think it's actually insane that we had to commit on that high of a level before he's actually even coached.
Yeah. I mean,
we beat out like a UConn, Carolina.
Absolutely right. These are guys that have had national championships in the recent last couple of 5 years.
Exactly, and they have the coaches they've had for a little bit. He hasn't even coached a single game, and we're I'm telling you, Will Wade is. I get more and more excited every video and edit that I see of our basketball team. And I don't think it's sometimes we get overhyped, over anticipated, and it ends up biting us in the butt. But I really don't think that this is that. And
no,
I'm so excited.
Again, Wade has had a track record of being successful. He's won SEC championships. He's made runs in the NCAA tournament. And again, we have to temper expectations. I think that's fair, but the profile of these players that he's already elevated NC State's profile as a whole from a national perspective. There's so much buzz around the program right now.
Selling out your game.
North Carolina that was announced.
That's insane.
Yeah. I mean, who sells out? I mean, we didn't even sell out the arena
when we did our
banners. Correct.
It's crazy.
So, and again, putting things in perspective here, I think that there's just a lot to be excited about. Everyone's gonna love him until he loses that first game, right? And so I just want people to if there's a bad early season loss, I don't want what did we get ourselves into?
Shut up. Please get off social media. Let him do his thing.
Yeah, let him cook.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was good slaying. I'm proud of you. Let him cook.
Oh yeah, thanks. You're welcome. Yeah. I'm 48 and still I got a couple things. Chilton right here, light blue school. Always thought that Clower would end up there. Yeah, and it's funny, right? If you see the social media, I get some of their stuff, and we'll get Michael in here in a second to kind of get his takes on Clower. They were like, oh, we didn't want him. NC State's making such a hype for a top 30 player, yada, blah, blah, yada. It's just one of those things where, look, had you got him, y'all would be like, hell yeah, we got him, baby, woo!
Yeah,
and then
it's the same thing with Peyton Wilson.
Yeah.
They're claiming they didn't really want him, and
correct.
I'm like, they're all crying in their rooms.
You're crazy
you're crazy.
Yeah, you're crazy.
On their defense.
All right. Well, Michael's joined by his pup, so maybe we can break him away for a second to kind of get his thoughts on Clower and kind of just what we were talking. I don't know if you heard us as you had to step away. But we were just kind of talking about how Will Wade has already brought in two, top 30, 35 prospects, top 50 prospects in his 6-month-ish tenure as compared to Kevin Keats and even that of Mark Gottfried.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like immediate turnaround, at least from a recruiting standpoint. That's the connections Wade himself has. That's bringing in Slater, the GM, and it's just an increased commitment to basketball from the NC State side and giving Wade the resources he needs to, go out and get those guys.
That's actually a really good point that we didn't even just touch on, right? It's the full commitment, the buy-in from everybody, top to the bottom, from the administration to his internal folks, identifying these folks, and then his folks identifying these players, and then just kind of going from there, just making these relationships.
It's kind of like,
go ahead. No, go for it.
Like what he said in his press conference early, I think it was last week, where he said it's just been a while since we're all clicking and all together, like the administration, coaches, players, and fans. Like it's been, we haven't all been equally as excited and ready for a season in basketball for a while, and I think that is a huge thing. Yes, we didn't give the resources that we needed to Kevin, but we did at the beginning. So it's like the fact that, like what I was saying earlier, the fact that he can already beat out these huge schools without even coaching a single game, that's just, I was really shocked when he committed and canceled his trip to North Carolina.
Yeah.
I don't know what Will says on those visits, but I like it.
Well, I think, if anyone caught the OG interview that he did, I guess a week or two ago, I can't remember when it was, but he kind of talked about some of these things. And one of the things he mentioned is, look, NIL is important. But at the end of the day, these players still want to know that they're going to get coached up and have opportunities to make the league. And Wade was just like, hey, this is what we can do for you. This is what we see in you. This is how we see you could fit in. These are things that we see as your strengths. These are things we see that are your weakness. And he just shoots them straight, it sounds like. And that I think there's still something to be said about relationships at the end of the day. Money is great, but money doesn't guarantee you success. And so if you can kind of, talk the talk and I always say, and you guys laughed at it this way last week, is, money talks, bullshit walks, but but there's something to be said about the opposite too. It's, you can get paid, but what are you going to do with that? Right. Are you going to be coachable? Right. Are you going to be lazy? Those types of things. And I think, Wade gives his pitch, and either you like it or you don't. And I just think that in today's age, I think that's refreshing.
Yeah, I think it's huge how much of a team bonding coach he is. Like the way that they're chained together during conditioning. They're going to Navy SEAL training. It's like you don't see that in coaches a lot, and I think that's going to be huge when the season starts, especially ACC play. That's going to do big things. But we need to highlight Preacher Man.
Yeah, I'm going to do that one second. I wanted to transition. Yeah, we'll definitely bring that up here in a second. And then just talking about what we just mentioned about Will Wade. Chilton says, he's not a lot of fluff, tells the truth about how hard it will be. And kind of what you just mentioned, Ken's, you see them doing this kind of Navy SEAL boot camp type thing, which someone sent me my buddy, his nieces were lifeguards that were kind of there, kind of monitoring that boot camp that they went through. And, they said it was serious. Like, some people kind of made fun about it, it was done on a golf course and, whatever, but, it was really not a golf course. It's kind of like a camp that has a golf course, but like that was real stuff. I'm trying to remember the strength and conditioning coach's name. I know his first name is Greg because we had that in common. But he actually used to work with the Navy SEALs and train them. So that's kind of the reason why you saw what they were going through, right? And you see these workouts, not saying that the previous coaching staff didn't take this stuff seriously, but it looks like at least by what we see on social media, we're not there every day, but it at least appears that it's kind of amped up or ramped up a notch or two. He in that interview, he even mentioned something about their physical stature of the players and how they play. And it was a little too deep for me. Didn't really understand what he meant, but obviously that's something that they take serious, and that you kind of look at, if you look at these things closely enough, you look at Jordan Snell and Paul McNeil, who are two guys that we can kind of look at. If you look at their frames, they look vastly different from last year to this year. Like their muscular skeletor looks more defined.
Paul especially.
Yes.
Yeah. Paul looks complete 180 from last year.
Yeah. They don't look as thin. And I think Jordan said he put on like 10 pounds, if I remember correctly. What's that?
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah. So hopefully those things will translate when it comes to, playing the games. But so I want to pause there. Anyone else have any? I know we kind of started with Clover and kind of just went our way there.
We're just so excited for the.
I know,
game.
I know,
yeah.
and it's nothing to take away from football. So first off, let's put the spotlight on our guy Preacher Man. Maybe just try to scroll up here a little bit. Yeah, we have a new wolf pup in the house, which is awesome. So let's give some love to the newest one. New addition, Harmony Lynn Hicks. I'm kind of disappointed there wasn't a Greg in there somewhere, but that's okay. 5 pounds, 3 ounces, and 18 inches. Hopefully, baby, mom, and dad are all doing well. Sounds like they had a nice nurse there at the hospital and got a Wolfpack sippy cup, so that's freaking awesome.
Love that.
Wolf, Preacher Man, shoot me your address. I would love to send you guys a little baby gift. From your friends at Tuffy Talk. But that's awesome stuff. Can't wait to have the little one out at some games and cheering on her. Harmony is a girl's name, so sorry. I'm tired. Hopefully cheer on her back.
Probably why there's no Greg.
Yeah, that's probably why. Good point. Thanks for ruining that for me. Anyway, so we're gonna shift on. Congrats again, Preacher Man, for your new addition.
Yes, congrats.
Michelle here, big avid volleyball fan. The ladies took a nice match yesterday, 3-2. Looked like a fun environment. Just kind of looking at over the information. So a big ACC win there for I can't remember Megan's last name, but Coach Megan in the volleyball team there. Just touching on some other things here. Men's soccer did take a loss yesterday. I think the final was 1-0.
Yeah.
Gave up their second goal of the season, and apparently State was playing a man down. It sounded like someone got a red card and it didn't go well. Kind of a BS thing, but so that's their first loss of the season. But Coach Hubbard and them I'm sure will rebound. Virginia was number 16 in the country, I believe. So it's not like, there's a lot of good ACC soccer teams. So to think that the State was going to go undefeated was kind of, there you go. Carson goes there. I'll read his message here. So Carson goes, I would consider men's soccer a win yesterday. Red card 5 minutes in, and you only lose 1-0. Not bad, especially to a ranked team. Yeah. So for anyone that doesn't understand soccer, and I barely do, but if you get a red card, you get sent off for the game. So essentially, State played a man down for 85 minutes of the game, which is really tough, and only gave up 1 goal. So that's pretty impressive. Thanks, Carson, for chiming in there. Hopefully your intramural squad won tonight. So Carson will be with us next week during fall break. He'll find time to make time for us. So we'll be glad to have him back next week. Yeah. So that's men's soccer. Kind of want to switch over, talk a little women's basketball here for a few minutes, maybe to close out. Yeah. And then Preacher Man says I have to talk a little baseball. I don't have a lot of baseball news, but I will mention the fall ball game here probably at the very end. But women's basketball, the The tip off. There you go. Won 100 to 54. I hope that's basketball. That's a hell of a lot of points in football. That's like Georgia Tech in like the 1900s score. Or it might be like, is it like Frisbee? Are you playing Frisbee, Carson? Like, I'm trying to remember like what I can't remember what he was playing. Or maybe it was
could be
flat. What the 20? Wait.
How many sports do you play?
Yeah. What is this guy like? This guy Jesse Owens here playing multiple sports. All right, Carson. We'll have to figure this out. But anyway, where was I going? Oh yes, Charlotte this week. I believe the men and women's thing is going on all week.
Tip off, yeah.
Yeah. Some interesting things that I kind of pulled out today. If I told you, did anyone catch this, by the way? Did anyone catch any of what Wes Moore had to say? Because I want to play a trivia question here.
No,
I think I saw a quote from him.
You might have.
Lunch.
All right. So, if I told you that Wes Moore was either A, I know he may have held these other positions. So I you know what? I'll say I'll go this way. He used to clean windows on high-rise buildings. B, was a prison guard, or C, what was the other one he said that he might have done? Elevator maintenance man. What would you have guessed there, Kens?
For Wes?
Yeah.
Wes is the man. I'm saying prison guard.
He was a prison guard.
I get to see him as a prison guard.
Yeah. He actually he had the ultimate dad joke. And I don't know how many people picked up on it, but it was pretty funny. He goes, I played in pickup games with the prisoners, but never led the team in steals.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know if anyone picked up about that. I was like, oh, that was good. That was good. That's okay, Michelle. You're good. Yeah, so Wes Moore was a prison guard back in the day.
That's so funny to me.
It's so funny and random. I love it.
What a man.
Yeah, he's a Renaissance man for sure. But no, but seriously, kind of was talking about his team a little bit, and you had Zoe. Yeah, you had Zamara and Zoe as the team reps. Kind of just talking about like he feels good about a lot of things on the team. The one thing that they need to kind of figure out and shore up is who's going to be that third guard for the team, like who's kind of just going to take that and run with it. So it sounded like Jones and Brooks, and then Tilda and the transfer from Vanderbilt, and I just totally lost her name, and I had it a minute ago. Pierre. It sounded like they were gonna; those four were locked up. What's that?
I forgot we got her.
I did too.
That's huge. Right? Yeah, you averaged almost a double.
I also
in the SEC.
saw that we're a favorite to win the ACC championship this year.
Yep. Then look at Michelle is like right on track here. Yes, all three ACC network.
Look at
all.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's usually never a good sign.
That's not a good sign. Yeah.
That's usually not a good sign.
Yeah. So
all of us.
Yeah, Michelle is on point tonight, as she always is, and we thank her for joining us. Always love having her in the chat. But yeah, I think there's a lot to be excited about. I do love the way Wes schedules. I think we're going to start game 1 against Tennessee out in Greensboro on the 4th, a day after the men start their season. And then, we're going to get right into it. And a couple weeks after that, playing USC, though USC is not the same USC, but they're still a very good team. So don't let Juju not playing trip you up and think that they're not a quality opponent. They've definitely brought in. I know they brought in a couple of transfers that are very highly touted. So that's going to be excited. Zoe was asked kind of this year about her being a leader. I thought that was an interesting soundbite. She was actually asked multiple times. For those, Zoe's kind of an introvert, it feels like at times, but she's like, she talked to Isaiah James last week when Isaiah was back in town, and they kind of just talked a little bit one-on-one, talking to see like how she could be a more effective communicator, leader, more vocal, because I think that's the one thing that you're going to have to look on this team for Michael. So kind of like what are your early thoughts? We were so senior driven,
Lucky.
you know, a lot of upperclassmen, and you know, now Zoe is an upperclassman being a junior, but we were, you know, we the last few years it seems like we had like a three-headed monster of very, you know, senior or grad like players. This year we don't really have that. So kind of just what do you think there about how that's going to mesh and look like moving forward as the season goes along?
Yeah, I mean, the people you're expecting to step into those roles are, you know, have been in the program for a couple of years now, so that's good. It's not like you have to rely on a bunch of transfers to come in. You brought in a bunch of grad transfers or whatever. So from that perspective, I think, you know, the way Wes has built his program, I'm not too concerned. Yeah, I think we'll see Zoe, especially Zoe, kind of step up into that role. She's the one, she's kind of next up, as they say. So, you know, I'm not too concerned there, but yeah, we'll just have to kind of see how it plays out.
Yeah, I think for me, and I'll send this over to you, Kens, to kind of talk about and answer. It's what is this next generation? Because we saw this a few years ago when we had the Lisa Cunanes, the Reina Perez, and Jones. No, no. Kai Crutchfield. That's the three I was thinking of. So after that year, you kind of like, okay, who was going to step up? And it kind of didn't really happen, right? Team kind of faltered, lost first round of the NCAA tournament. And so now this is the next iteration, if you will, of that. You know, have had a lot of guys, a lot of ladies, excuse me. You only brought in 2 freshmen, 2 transfers, kept your core together a lot. But now you're looking at, okay, how is this team going to take the next step, the next level, right? Because you have, you know, a Devin Quigley, you have Zamaria Jones, you have Lorena Awuhu. Awu, thank you. Gosh, I'm so tired. Anyway, like what are those players going to do? Because again, there's a lot of hype, a lot of expectation put on this team, as there normally is when you're dealing with NC State women's basketball.
Yeah. Well, I think in general, like I'm not saying Elisa Cunane and all them didn't love NC State basketball. They obviously did. But I think Isaiah and Sanaya have a love for state that they represent everywhere they go. So I definitely see them still being a huge part of this program. If they see somebody's not taking a step up and being that leader, I can definitely see with how close that team was last year, them reaching out or coming back, visiting, getting them ready to take that next step and be the leaders of the team. Zoe, this past season, I think took a huge step in being more outspoken and more good, or on the bench, hyping players up. I think that she's already taken that leap. So I think she can definitely fit into this position. I'm excited to see the girls that have witnessed the Madison Hayes, Isaiah, Sanaya, all playing with them. I really think that the girls that have done that are going to keep that momentum and energy going, because I mean, there were games that we were behind, and those 3 right there, their energy is what single-handedly helped us come back and win. Absolutely. So I feel like energy is huge, and the fact that we were blessed to have them for as long as we did, and I'm sure they're going to be back for a ton of in Reynolds this year. Yeah. So I mean, in West I trust, but I also believe these girls are going to step it up and start right where they finished this past year.
Yeah. You brought in a couple of highly touted freshmen. You know, you brought in a couple good transfers with Pierre and Samuels. Samuels coming in from UConn. Yeah. So
I think
go ahead.
I think the biggest concern roster wise is the kind of the wing position, right? You know, your guards are locked down, and you know, with the late addition of Pierre, you feel good about the front court. It's kind of that wing position that's been so strong,
right. And that's kind of what Wes was talking about. That
the void,
who's gonna step in? Is it gonna be a Samuels? Is that gonna be a Quigley? Is that going to be, you know, you don't normally see Wes depend on freshmen a lot, at least not beginning of the season. You know, he kind of likes to work them in slowly. So that will be an interesting that seems to be kind of the battle that kind of needs to be worked out. But the way that West likes to run his offense, like they like to run with tempo. And so you're going to need ladies that are going to be able to be key contributors. And then, you have a couple of juniors in Maddie Cox and Mallory Collier, who looks like kind of like Collier's kind of, if I'm being honest, I can't really say a lot, but conditioning has kind of been her issue. And she looks really like spending a lot of time getting her body right. She could be a real force. She's a big body, 6'3" type player. So I think our front court looks really good. If Maddie Cox kind of continues to take another step. Yeah, I think that was kind of where we saw like where we had our struggles last year, especially in that LSU game, was rebounding and and Tilda's got to kind of stay out of foul trouble. But anyway, we'll talk more about that as we get a little bit closer. So Carson says that he talked to Mallory the other day at Case and said she's hilarious. I think they got some good characters. I think
she's definitely the personality of the team.
Yeah. I do like what this team has. Again, how does it come together? How does it mesh? Because again, it's never about lack of talent with Westmore teams. It's like, how do they come together? Do they accept their roles? And I thought on opening day of practice, he talked about how Sanaya was like third on the team in scoring, and she was the number 8 overall pick in the WNBA draft. Right. So it's not about it's not about some of those things that you think that you have to be able to do in order to be successful. It's about buying in, knowing your role, and doing it to the best of your ability.
Exactly.
I'm
ready for basketball.
Yeah.
Women and men's. I'm so excited.
The crazy thing is we're only halfway home on football. I mean, we still got 6 more games to go, but basketball kind of
first game.
Yeah, the
men's is what? November 6th.
No,
third. Okay, so we're less than a month.
Don't make us wait 3 more days.
Yeah. So we were a month away on Saturday when Chloe picked committed, and then the women play the very next day. I think the men play at 7:30 on the 3rd, and then the women play at 4:00, which is the dumbest time for a basketball game on a weekday. But I'm sure that was in order to get Tennessee back home at a decent time.
Probably.
But we're less than a month away from tip-offs there. Guess we'll kind of go around, do any last-minute things. I don't really have anything else that I kind of wanted to throw out there. If we've missed anything, that's happened this week. But yeah, Michael, you got any last-minute closing thoughts? I got you, preacher man.
I think
I'm going to close this out on that.
Touched it on and all, yeah. I feel like we're already I already feel like we're in winter sports. Like halfway through winter sports, my body's just like, oh. But Ken's, anything is it was nice having you join us this evening. Glad to have you back.
Guys. Glad to be back. Love talking about state. We're gonna beat Notre Dame. Can't wait to see everybody on Monday, happy and ready, go in the bye week with a dub. So see you guys then.
That would be nice.
That would be
but just for a second, let's enter the Ken's world. Like, can you
Greg,
imagine?
come on, join me. It's so much fun over here.
We beat Notre Dame.
It really is.
I mean, it'd be the biggest win of Doran's career.
Right after the biggest loss of his career. You see how this happens?
So you're saying, hold up. So now you're gonna say that's bigger than Clemson?
I think so. Clemson was at home. Both times Clemson has been at home. This is on the road.
True.
You're
That's
in
a good point.
South Bend. Yeah,
that's a good point. That's a good point. That's fair.
Yeah.
Now, if we turn around and beat Miami and Miami, then that's another conversation.
Kens, 1 week at a time, lady.
You're right. I'm sorry.
At a time.
Gosh.
I'm sorry.
We can only pull one miracle at a time.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't be a miracle. It wouldn't be a miracle. But
not if we beat Notre Dame. Then it's like, okay.
Ooh,
It's
would
like
it be
very
divine
doable.
intervention since it was Notre Dame? I don't know.
Ooh.
No, it's sports, right? Anything can happen any week. You know, you got to be level-headed about these things, but you also got to have hope, right? And I think that's kind of the thing that we hold on to as fans, that, you know, you go in there and
Gotta play the game.
hope. Yep, got to hope that, you know, things work out. All right, I'm going to touch on a couple things here for Carson, because I know he wasn't able to join us. He's very sad still that the Yankees and Carlos Rodon beat the Sox.
The team's not even
I'm
in
with
there. I
you.
don't even
I'm with you,
care.
Carson. That's a double-edged sword for me as well. I am not a Yankees fan by any stretch of the imagination, but it was a state guy, so that's a hard one to swallow. You want to be happy for Carlos, but not happy for the Yankees. And then he said, we're still having a Doran season. We're going to win 8 games. Oh, gosh. He needs to be checked out for drugs, just like Ken's. I don't know if this is going to happen, but he says, we're going to win 8 games, beat UNC, have a really good win, and then have a WTF loss, which has already happened against Virginia Tech. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, it could definitely happen.
Right.
Florida State looks beatable and vulnerable, especially if you make
Georgia Tech looks
beatable. We don't know. Like, there's still 8 weeks left of the season. Granted, we only have 6 games, but you know, there's a couple buys in there. Some of these teams look vulnerable and beatable. Pitt, you know, lost to West Virginia, but they have a good offense. You have UNC. That one looks better and better every week, but it's still a rivalry game.
Yeah.
And the past few years have been insane games.
And again, it just what version, what iteration of NC State are you going to get when you play these games? We definitely have talent on the offensive side to hang with folks, but all right, so let me get to Preacher Man. NC State baseball kind of screwed me this week. I love them, but they screwed me. Playing a fall ball exhibition game, 35 minutes from my house, and I'll be in Notre Dame. So we'll put that out there right now. I'm like, you couldn't do that next week when we had a bye, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that, Coach Avent. Oh, speaking of Coach Avent, Coach Avent and Coach Avent and Torrey Holt got awarded the something of the Oaks. I don't
Order
know.
Order of the Longleaf Pine.
Longleaf Pine Oak thingy.
It's a cool name.
It's a cool name, actually. Yeah. Which is given to, it's the highest civilian honor that can be bestowed on North Carolina residents by the governor. Both Torrey Holt and Coach Avent were recognized. So that's pretty freaking awesome. So congrats to them. That's a really big deal. I know they had their thing. They had their kind of their little ceremony. I think it was today. Yes, Preacher Man, I know next weekend is on a Thursday, which I am unemployed right now, so I could technically go watch it if the government doesn't get their crap together.
That was crazy.
I am not unemployed. I'm just not working, I guess. But yes, so NC State fall ball will be playing up here in Fredericksburg, Virginia, which, again, is supposed to be a nice weekend. So if people are looking to go do something, come on up. That would be awesome. But then next Thursday at the DPAP, they will be playing an exhibition fall ball game against UNC. Team looks really good. The 1968, 64, I don't know. They were honored. I think it was 68, right? Yeah. I think they were honored with their College World Series rings on the last day or so. I saw that was posted, so that was pretty awesome. And then hold on 1 second, I got a comment here. We'll give a shout out here to Raymond Alexander. Oops, why did that go? Sorry. 1968. Thank you, Michelle, for always being on top of it. I think that's what I said first, so we'll count that as a win for me. Shout out here for Raymond Alexander to my guy Joshua, I guess Ellerby, number 21. Yeah. That's my guy. He's killing it. From
Campbell.
All right, cool. Well, shout out to Joshua. Sorry about your loss. Sorry about your loss on Saturday, but glad you're doing some things and making Raymond Alexander happy. So good.
There you go.
Appreciate you listening and tuning in, Raymond. All right. And then one more, Michelle, because she's been killing it. We'll give her one more shout out. My mother was at state and knew all those team players from the 1968 team. So that's cool. Shout out to Mama and her love of NC State. The Simmons family is always at NC State. So cool beans. All right. I think we are done. We are going to wrap it up for the week. So again, appreciate everyone tuning into our live stream this week. Really appreciate you guys. Yeah, it's gonna be a fabulous week. We're gonna get some more W's. I would love to go up and get a win up at South Bend. I know I will be winning because this fat guy loves Portillo's, and yeah, I want to be eating some Chicago hot dogs this week. Yeah.
Portillo's.
All right. Hold on. Do I think we can get Charlie Elwell in the portal? I don't even know who that is. Should I know who that is? I don't know. I apologize for not knowing that. But we will do some research and figure out who that is and what sport he plays. All right, guys and ladies, thanks again for tuning in. We are going to wrap. We appreciate you. And as always, Wolfpack Nation, go Pack, beat the Domers. We'll see you next week.